Alligators are part of our native wildlife here in Texas, and they've been here for hundreds and hundreds of years, so long before we were here. They actually were listed as endangered in the 1970s. Their populations were very low. They were removed from the endangered species list in 1985, and since their population has really rebounded, so they're a great example of a conservation success story. Here in Texas, you can find alligators in roughly the eastern half of the state. They are most abundant, though, along the coast.
It's hard to say that necessarily people are seeing more gators, is that people are out and about more. So I don't know necessarily if there's more gators or people are just seeing more of them. Urban development is an issue. Houston is the largest city in gator territory, and Houston is growing and expanding on all sides. And so with more growth, you're going to see more of the native habitat of alligators starting to be built upon. So there's going to be less natural habitat for them, and there's going to be artificial habitat is going to be built at the same time, like retention and detention ponds. So where once these gators were able to live naturally, now they're having to take advantage of man-made ponds and lakes and places for them to stay. Ditches are a great place for alligators, especially during storms, because what are ditches designed to do? Ditches are designed to funnel water and to hold water. So when you have issues where maybe we've had a drought and we do get a significant rainfall or even a 1 or 2 inch rainfall, all of that water is going to be funneled into ditches, and it makes a perfect spot for alligators to hang out in. The time you're most likely going to see alligators is when they're coming out of brumation. Brumation is a type of hibernation that you see in reptiles. As the temperature starts warming up, then you'll start to see more gators coming out. Typically, you'll see that around March, mid-March, right after they come out of brumation. Just happens to be mating season. So you're going to see males moving around a lot more and females moving around. You're going to see them a lot more during that spring to early summer.
Alligators are part of a group known as the crocodilians that includes several species of crocodiles, gharials, caimans, and alligators. Alligators can be identified by their wide and rounded snout, and also when their mouth is closed, only their top teeth will be showing. And here in Texas, the only species that we have of crocodilian is the American alligator. In southern Florida, you'll find the American crocodile as well, but that's the only place where we have crocodiles in the United States.
Crocodilians are kind of unique in the reptile world in the females will actually protect the nest and will actually protect the young, sometimes up to a year after hatching. An alligator nest, you're going to find it usually not more than about 10 or so feet away from a body of water, a pond, or a lake, and they basically look like a big pile of leaf litter and debris. And they're gonna look out of place. And a female will definitely be very close by. So if you ever see an alligator nest, use extreme caution around them.
Alligators and people normally can coexist without any issues, but problems can arise when people are feeding alligators.
Feeding an alligator is actually a Class C misdemeanor in the state of Texas, which can hold a fine from anywhere from $25 to $500 per infraction.
So you want to make sure that you never intentionally are feeding an alligator. You also want to make sure that you never unintentionally feed an alligator. So some ways that you might be providing food for an alligator without realizing it is if you're fishing, you want to make sure that you throw your scraps away and don't put them into the lake if there are alligators there.
And so what ends up happening is alligators start associating people with food and an easy meal. An alligator's not going to associate you as a meal. They're going to associate you for a meal.
You also want to make sure that you're not feeding other wildlife like ducks or turtles or fish, because that could attract alligators as well.
Unfortunately, when all is said and done, A fed alligator is a dead alligator.
When an alligator is labeled as a nuisance and it is removed, typically that alligator is going to be euthanized. If it is not euthanized, they might try and relocate it, but a lot of times the end result can be the same because alligators that are relocated will often die after the relocation due to the stress associated with capture and handling. They're also territorial animals, so they will have to compete with any other alligators that are at that new location. Also, oftentimes alligators will try to return to the location where they were trapped because they have a really strong homing instinct and they can die in the process of that.
As long as we are wise around alligators, then alligators don't pose a threat. You should say a safe, respectable distance away from them. Think of it about the length of a school bus is what you want to stay away from alligators. Admire them from a distance.
And if you have any pets with you, you want to make sure that you keep them on a leash and keep them away from the water. But other than that, if you see an alligator, take an opportunity to enjoy it because it's not every day that you get to see an alligator out in the wild. So feel free to stand back and enjoy the experience and snap a few pictures if you can.
Alligators are absolutely native Texans, and they will continue to be in Texas. Hopefully, if we can, preserve some habitat for them and respect them.